Hey everybody, so right over that mountain, about 120 miles, is the Alaskan border. But there's no roads there. So we will leave tomorrow and drive about 400 miles. We'll have to go north and then cross the border and then go back down towards the south where we are. This is our view for the night. You see we're parked here, and right outside our door, that's our view. So in the morning, the sun will come up on the back side of the camper and kind of spotlight the hills. The mosquitoes are crazy. They're like supernatural. They're just swarming all over the place. It's about 54 degrees. It's supposed to get down to about, I don't know, I think they're saying upper 20s, low 30s tonight. We are in Haines Junction in the Yukon Territory of Alaska. This is our, not Alaska, of Canada, Yukon Territory in Canada. This will be our last night in Canada. And tomorrow we'll make our way back across the border into the good old US of A. We're gonna try to make a place called Glen Allen, and then the next day we're gonna go into Anchorage, and then just spend a day in Anchorage goofing off and hanging out and seeing what Anchorage is all about before we go on down to Ninilchik for everything. So these are the views that we've been seeing this afternoon driving. After we left Whitehorse, we could see these mountains off in the distance, and we've been driving towards them for about an hour and a half. So just gorgeous. I got out of Walmart okay, McDonald's okay from the last video. It was a little tight getting in, and then there wasn't a whole lot extra. There was like one way in and then like the drive-through out, and so but I was able, fortunately the parking lot cleared a little bit, and I was able to just turn around and get out of there no problem. So that was like disaster averted. After we parked, I looked at the bikes hanging off the back of our RV, and they were almost they were ready to fall off. We had lost a strap that was securing them at some point, and they were just like sliding almost off of the rack completely. So I was able to fix that before we left and restrapped them down, and so they're tight. As you see, the boys are running around. There's plenty of space out here at this campground for them to run around. They've been running around and playing and riding their bikes and hopefully getting all of their energy out before we go to bed tonight. So again, I keep saying this, but it's hard to really kind of grasp the road situation. The roads are paved and they're flat, and there's not anything in way of like, potholes or anything like that. There's a couple sections where they've had to like clean them, they've had to repair them or whatever. And it is so, but it's just so remote. There's like nothing. You could drive for hours and not see anybody, not pass anybody, not anybody pass you. It's just crazy. And we're following our milepost guide that tells us mile by mile what's coming up and what we're doing, like every bridge crossing and every kind of bridge, and hey, there was construction at this area. I mean, it's so detailed. And it's like, okay, in 1 kilometer, you're going to come across this town, and you're like looking around, and all you see is trees. You see nothing but trees. And then you turn around a corner, and then bam, there's like 5 buildings, a gas station, and then that's it. I mean, it's just crazy to try to visualize and bring together. Just going off of what I've been, where I've been living the last, all my life pretty much. And this is the major highway. This is the Alaskan Highway, Canadian #1. And this is it. There's no other roads going anywhere. And so it's just crazy to think that it's so remote. We passed one section as Jennifer was reading in the guide, and it was like, okay, going north, you have no more 911 access. And it's like, okay, if I could get a cell signal, there's no one going to come to help me. And so just kind of real sobering to think about. And then you look over and you see like this little log cabin or this little shack or something, or somebody's camper parked out here, and you're like, why would anybody choose to live this far removed from everything? But it's just, I don't know, it's so foreign to me. It's something that I'm going to have to learn and kind of understand as we move forward. I'm hoping that once we cross the border into the United States, that the roads will be a little bit different, but I'm not holding out any hope. I mean, it's Alaska. There's so few roads in Alaska anyway, so I'm thinking they're probably just going to be the same thing that we've been coming through here. And so I would say like the top 2/3 of British Columbia and all of the Yukon it's just remote, and it's just 2-lane, just country road. And I mean, there was portions that we were driving yesterday that didn't even have a center line. You just drove, and if you pass somebody, you slid over to the edge to make sure, but you didn't, make sure you didn't slide off the edge. But dig up some gold, really? No, thank you. I don't have that kind of patience. But you see a lot of people doing the prospecting and the gold mining. I'm sure that's what a lot of them is. And then there's probably a lot of guys who are out hunting and things like that too, because we saw a bunch we passed a truck today that had 3 moose racks on the top of it where they had killed some moose. And so wildlife, we haven't seen wildlife. We've seen 4 bears the entire trip. No moose, no caribou, a couple deer, which is kind of it's strange to me that we would see it. But we did hear from somebody that it is hunting season, and so it's probably that, and you just can't, they're obscure now because they know they're being hunted. But anyway, just kind of wanted to give you guys an update. Here's our view tomorrow. This morning we'll wake up to this view now that the sun is gone all the way down.
Now you can see it.
So kind of like where the sun is where we're going to be heading, and that way about 120 miles is the Alaskan border. But as you can tell, there's no roads there, so you can't drive there. So we'll end up going north and then west and then back down, and we have 400 miles tomorrow, 430 something miles
like that
to run tomorrow. So there's Jennifer. She's getting stuff ready. It's starting to cool off a little bit.
Finally, it's going to get freezing tonight.
Jennifer says it's going to get freezing. I don't know. The humidity is much higher, so that's something I might have to get used to again, is humidity. But anyway, there's like 4 other campers or 3 other campers here. There's another one whack over there on the other side of the trees. So there's just a few people out here, and I mean, if that's your afternoon view every day, and it really doesn't, I mean, I wish you could see it in person. It's just so much more cool. So yeah, just over there on the other side of that ridge, on the other side of those mountains, is Alaska. Yet we can't drive up it. Nor do I want to drive up it and over it. So anyway. But there's an update for tonight. Continue to, pray that we have good weather tomorrow. We didn't have any rain today, which was great, but the camper is just so dirty, and the truck is dirty too, but I guess that's just the way it is. Just that we encounter good roads, and then going back through customs into the U.S., that there's like no issue whatsoever. We just breeze through like we did when we came into Canada. So hopefully they'll let us back into the U.S. as easy as we came into Canada. Maybe they called ahead and said, get those guys out of here. Anyway, so love you guys. Thanks for the encouragement and the prayers and the thumbs up and the likes, and just pray another good day of traveling. The boys have been doing okay, but you can tell it's starting to wane on them a little bit, and so just pray that they stay calm as we go for a few more days traveling. We probably have 3 or 4 more days before we're at where we need to be and we're done. So anyway, we'll keep you guys up to date. Like I said, we have good Wi-Fi here, so things are good. The next place, and maybe by the time we reach the border tomorrow, we'll have regular phone service. We'll see how that goes. I'm hoping, because as soon as we hit the Canadian border, Verizon said, oh, you're in Canada now, you're not part of our network. So hopefully when we hit the American border, the United States border, it'll be the same thing. Oh, welcome back. So hopefully we'll see. Anyway, we'll do a little more on the road updating then. So love you guys, thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.